Predict the score of Bengals versus Browns for me in the comments section. Cincinnati going to win 3 games in a row for the first time this year? Let me know. Trying to make this the most commented on video of December. Searching for like 200 plus comments on this video. So get down in the comment section and predict the score of Bengals versus Browns. You are watching Bengals Breakdown by Chat Sports. I am your host, Stone Shields, and we got our preview video coming your guys' way here today. Bengals taking on the Browns, looking to sweep them, which I think would be a really significant step for this franchise. Despite the fact you've underachieved in so many levels, the Browns have really given you fits, particularly in the Joe Burrow era. It's a good opportunity to show them that the tide is kind of turning and that you're ready to retake control of this rivalry and get you a sweep here in 2024. Right now, the Bengals are 7.5-point favorites against the Cleveland Browns. We'll get into all kinds of stuff about this game on today's show, but of note off the top, no Jameis Winston in this one. It's going to be Dorian Thompson-Robinson back at the quarterback position for Cleveland. I certainly think that is a break for Cincinnati. Winston has not been playing very well, but I think he gives them the best chance to win. They're going with DTR in this game instead. That is who Kevin Stefanski is opting to go with. Before we fully get into our keys to victory here on today's show, we're going to take a look at some practice squad signings and then take a look at the Bengals injury report as well. The Bengals made some additions to their practice squad, signing Giles-Harris, I believe that's how you pronounce it, apologies if not, and Jaylen Key to the practice squad. Key played his last year of college ball at the University of Alabama and actually was a 7th-round pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. I think he's a really solid addition to your DB room. Of course, the Bama ties there with Jordan Battle back there as well. And then on Wednesday, Cincinnati announced that they were going to be signing Isaiah Thomas to the practice squad, a guy that has spent time on the Bengals practice squad in the past. And look, Zach Taylor did not rule out Sam Hubbard for the remainder of the year, contrary to some of the reports from ESPN. But I think you had to bring in another edge guy to kind of booster up that room with Sam Hubbard being down with that injury, that knee injury that he had, that PCL injury. So we will not see Sam Hubbard probably this week. Hasn't been ruled out yet, hasn't been placed on IR, nothing like that. Speaking of the injuries, let's hop into those. Orlando Brown Jr. is certainly a noteworthy name to keep an eye on. He's probably not going to play in this week, right? We've detailed kind of the things that he has gone through here in 2024 and kind of where he's at with this Cincinnati Bengals football team. Had a great start to the year, but then ultimately just hasn't been able to stay healthy. Alex Cappa was in concussion protocol. He might go. He was a limited participant in practice on Wednesday. We will see, but again, he was in concussion protocol. Cody Ford was a full participant on Wednesday's practice, dealing with that illness. Apparently was really, really sick, caused him to miss that game against the Tennessee Titans. Devin Cochran had to take over at that left tackle spot. Mentioned Hubbard already. Chris Jenkins Jr. did not practice on Wednesday with an illness. I guess something is going around this team because, of course, Sheldon Rankins has been out with an illness for a long time as well. Who knows if we will see him again in 2024 or ever again in a Cincinnati Bengals uniform. Again, really hope he's doing all right, but he's missed so many games now with an illness. Geno Stone was a limited participant Wednesday with a shoulder. Charlie Jones also limited on Wednesday with a groin. Haven't seen him in several weeks. Will be nice to get him back for this Cleveland game because he really is the reason you won this game earlier in the season with that opening kickoff. He returned to the end zone for a touchdown. Leads us to the pinned comment of today's video. Who you got in this game? Be honest with me. I know there's some Browns fans in here, but let me know who you got in the comment section. Type CIN, C-I-N, for the Cincinnati Bengals, or CLE, C-L-E, if you got the Cleveland Browns. If that ad comes here on YouTube, totally fine. Take advantage of it. Get down in the comment section. Let us know what you think. All right, let's get into some keys to victory here in this football game. First one is very simple here. Laser focus. This team needs to be absolutely locked in to beating the Cleveland Browns. There's some distractions out there because I think, as we talked about on the video earlier in the week about the Bengals' playoff picture and their playoff chances, I believe this team still has some belief that they can get to the playoffs, but they can't be scoreboard watching this week. They got to be focused on beating the Cleveland Browns. It's the Browns team that's going to be coming after you, and it's a rivalry game. It's the Battle of Ohio. They are out of the playoffs, obviously, but they're going to be doing everything they can to try to win this game. Critical for Cincinnati to just be laser focused in here. Starts with the quarterback in Joe Burrow and certainly a trickle down throughout everyone else on the roster, as well as the coaching staff, as well as us fans as well. Key to victory number 2. Look, got to find ways to create turnovers in this football game. We've said it all year. This defense is terrible. They are extremely turnover reliant. They need to create turnovers in order to have success and give their team a chance to win the football game. Luckily, you did that well last week when you played the Tennessee Titans, forcing 6 turnovers. Certainly some incompetence there from Will Levis and some of the mistakes that he made. You're going to have an opportunity to do some similar stuff against this Cleveland Browns team. But again, Dorian Thompson-Robinson getting the start at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. There's going to be some opportunity to catch some balls from Dorian Thompson-Robinson as far as interceptions go, and he's going to be a threat on his as far as running the football with his legs as well. Maybe you can get in a couple peanut punches or whatever the case may be. Brown's going to be without Nick Chubb, and this game's going to be the Jerome Ford show back there, kind of making a return to Cincinnati. Spent some time playing with the Cincinnati Bearcats, of course, after he transferred from the University of Alabama. But Bengals really need to find ways to create turnovers in this game. They did it a couple of times last time they played early in October, and that really was a difference maker in that football game and kind of allowed them to get over the top and get them a victory earlier in the season. Continue with our keys to victory here in a moment, but first, want to give a shout out to our friends over at Game Time, because today's preview video is presented by Game Time. Game Time is focused on togetherness this holiday season. That means when you bring people together at live events, the experience is that much better. It's the perfect gift as well. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Game Time Picks is the easiest way to find and buy tickets to live events. Still 2 home games left. You want to see the Bengals take on the Browns or the week after, which should be a massive game if you take care of the Cleveland Browns against the Denver Broncos. You can do that. Head on over to Game Time and get the best deals possible. My 2 favorite features on Game Time: the seat views. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy with Game Time. Secondly, the event cancellation protection. You're going to a concert, the artist cancels on you, totally fine. Game Time's not going to hose you. They're going to get you your money back. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. Key to victory number 3. Offensive line got to lock in this football game. Shaky start against the Tennessee Titans last week. Granted, Devin Cochran didn't really have much experience under his belt. Thought he settled down really, really nicely after those first couple of series. But that whole unit has got to be better. Some questions on whether or not Kappa is going to be available. Certainly has been a weak link for you along your offensive line this year. Amarius Mims certainly banged up. But those guys are going to have to step up. Orlando Brown Jr. certainly probably not going to play as well. You really got to do a better job of protecting Joe Burrow. He's taken a lot of punishment all throughout the season, something that we have documented often here on Bengals Breakdown, something they got to try to avoid. And that unit up front for Cleveland is just, they possess a lot of challenges, particularly with Myles Garrett is going to be a guy that you have to tackle along, that Cleveland pass rush, a guy that you're going to have to deal with. Taking a look at what Cincinnati is going to be throwing out there on the football field. Again, Orlando Brown Jr. is banged up. And Cody Ford, assuming he's back from that illness, again, was a full participant on Wednesday. I would assume he's going to get back into that spot. I would think Cochran comes out, and the rest of this offensive line kind of is what it is. But we will see if Alex Kappa is going to be able to play in this football game. But back to Garrett, one of the best defensive players in the league, one of the best players in the league, period. He's had a ton of success against the Cincinnati Bengals. You did a good job earlier in the season when you played him in October as far as limiting his abilities to go out there and disrupt the football game. Have to have a plan for Myles Garrett in this game. Have to find ways to slow him down. You don't want Joe Burrow taking that kind of punishment, especially this late in the year when your playoff chances are relatively slim. Not relatively slim, considerably slim. Anyway, what's your concern level over Myles Garrett? Be honest with us. Sound off for us in the comment section. Scale it for us 1 to 10. Last key to victory here. Stars got to cook in this game. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Jamar Chase. Talking about Joe Burrow. Those guys need to be big in this game. Joe Burrow against Cleveland hasn't been very good. The offense hasn't really been able to get going. Jamar Chase has certainly had struggles against them as well. Look, Jamar Chase is chasing the triple crown, no pun intended, and he really is well on his way. As far as the yards go and the touchdowns go, I think he's going to kind of run away with those two categories. It's really going to come down to the receptions, and he has a slight lead at this point over Amon-Ra, St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, certainly a problem. Brock Bowers there at 90. Not sure what Vegas was thinking the other night against Atlanta, not getting him the football. But those guys are certainly hot on his heels. You saw Cincinnati several times. Kind of that pop pass where Joe Burrow, it's essentially, a handoff to him, but he lets go of the ball, so it counts as a reception for Jamar Chase. Certainly think they'll do that a couple of times against Cleveland as well. He's got to be special in this game. Let's get him the ball early and often. Get him the football in space, see what he can do out there in the open field. Joe Burrow, keep building. Keep building. This guy that's going to win the comeback player of the year. This is a guy that was very frustrated after the Tennessee game. And look, I was excited that he was fired up about them not playing up to their standard. But I want to see him, be a good leader in this football game and do a nice job taking care of his teammates and just ultimately stepping up and not turning the football over, something that he's done a little bit this year. Again, I don't think a lot of the turnovers are his fault, but at the end of the day, he's quarterback, he's turned the football over, and he's over on the sideline sometimes pouting about it. So I want to see him respond well in this game, play well against Cleveland at home. By the way, something you haven't done very much often this year is play well at home. An opportunity to kind of right that ship here at the end of the year and potentially get back-to-back wins in big games when you're still alive in the playoff race against the Browns and the Broncos. But it all starts Sunday with Cleveland. We will be live for the Browns and Bengals, 1 o'clock Sunday. Watch party, really excited about it. Hopefully you guys can stop by and hang out with us. In order to do that, you'll need to hit that sub button, youtube.com/BengalsTV. Here is my score prediction. I got Cincinnati getting it done, covering that spread, by the way, 28-17 against the Cleveland Browns. Too much star power, too much Joe Burrow, too much Jamar Chase. The defense gets him a couple of turnovers and hence only gives up 17 points.